I'm like reaching out or just back and forth text, but I can tell where the need to have a conversation comes into play.
Yes, this definitely needs for a conversation because we,
Yeah.
we try to keep it microwave, but eventually we drop it in the stove, man. Have a whole
Oh yeah.
Thanksgiving feast.
A
Oh,
whole dinner. Yeah.
so so my thing, the question that I want to ask you was maybe it's not too deep, whatever like that. It can be simply answered. By reaching out to someone else to find the higher plane, you said you could find the higher plane within yourself, right?
Oh man, absolutely.
All right, so this is my question, just to connect the two, and just in your opinion, this is not going against you, trying to go with you, whatever like that. But if you were to go to Walmart and you're looking for, let's say, like something niche, like a cactus flower pot you seen on inside the Sunday paper or some shit, right? Do you think it's better for you to go inside of Walmart, ask the person who works in Walmart that leads you to the cactus, which would be a mentor, or would it be better for you to go inside of Walmart and search for it for yourself, which is the search
For
within?
yourself. Yeah, I see the existential question here. So it really depends. If because I've done it both ways
Me too.
in life.
Wait. I just want to inject this into there before you finish. I felt that with a, not saying one is better than the other because I enjoy both of them. But my thing is, once you have someone that points you where the cactus is, you're allowed to go back home and let's say start up your plant versus spending another 2 or 3 hours inside of Walmart looking for that plant.
Looking for it. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is it's all about the sensitivity of timing, and that's why like freedom is so important. So if I walk into a Walmart looking for a cactus plant at 12 o'clock, and I don't have anything to do until 3 o'clock, then I'm gonna be more reluctant asking for help because I have the time to sort of figure out and go aisle by aisle and try to find this thing on my own. I'll do more research on it, and I'll see that going to Walmart isn't the right place to go. I'll go to a nursery or something. Or it's not exactly what I was looking for.
Or you
If
can
I
search around and find something better than the cactus thing. I get it.
absolutely, if I ask somebody at the Walmart, they've been trained a certain way to direct me to not necessarily unless they know exactly what I'm talking about. They're just going to point me in the direction, and they're not going to walk me to it and say this is exactly what you're looking for. Very seldomly does that happen, unless you just hit it off with somebody like as far as the product's concerned, and they're like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, or they just so happen to be very well trained and very they've been there for like 10, 15 years. So
True.
most of
Well,
the time in my experience, I'll only ask for something if I have no idea where to find it and I'm pressed for time, or if no, that's about it. Or if it's a pretty girl.
now, but what you're saying is true. They never know exactly what you want. You can say, "I want baking soda."
Yeah,
They'll lead you to the baking soda aisle, but there's like 30 different baking
aisle to
sodas
aisle.
there.
Exactly. So that's an interesting test, though, right? From now on, when I'm faced with that decision, I'm gonna ask them the exact item I'm looking for. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna say, I buy these yogurts, these Greek yogurts. It's this brand and it's the strawberry flavor. And then I'm gonna see if they respond with, "Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about," or if they say, "Oh, so here's the yogurt aisle. You can find it for yourself."
Right.
So
See,
yeah, man,
but that's
it's
kind of a
crazy.
hybrid though,
Yeah.
because one would be mentors showing you exactly. Let's say your yogurt has a fucking kangaroo on the side. They'll be like, "This is where the kangaroo yogurt is." And then there's
Yeah.
also the one where you don't even know where the yogurt aisle is. That's just you self searching. But this would be kind of a median. Like you know the area, but once you get to that area, you still have to find it for yourself. I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
one of the most effective ways to train someone. Don't tell them exactly what to do. Tell them how to get something, and they have to figure it out.
They have to figure it out for themselves. That's quite interesting. So I've contemplated this thought with like with just like my
Right.
But then over time, as I've gotten older, I've thought about it more and more, and I'm like, do things like that need to be said? Like, do they even need to be said? Because if I'm confident, so I listen to Lupe Fiasco, I listen to Jay Z. If I'm well aware that they can do it, like by just looking at their lyrics and I say, oh look, there's a triple entendre. Jay Z said it himself. Like when he said lines, he said triple entendre. Don't even ask me how.
Right.
Like
Right.
he'll flat out tell you that lines have multiple meanings. So is it my job to figure them out, or is it just like my job to know that they're there? It's not exactly the same situation, but it's like now in my age and in my mid 30s now, 37, I would just want to kick it with those guys and sort of just I don't even know, man. I don't have an itinerary, I guess, for that. I'm a little bit more free than I used to be when it comes to like what I would say and what I would want to extract information from them. As I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I get it. It's like it's easier. It's a little bit more relaxed. So it's it goes back to freedom again, in my opinion. And freedom is not like this. I don't know that our brains consciously, obviously consciously, we have this program for what we think freedom is.
Right.
But when it comes to the wiring of our brains, the neurological like synapses and all that that connect, and when you feel free, you know what it feels like. Like it feels great. It feels like you are floating. It feels like cloud nine. It feels like all that, all the above, and it feels very liberating. So it boils down to asking for anything. I think it boils down to your level of personal freedom that you have, and just the willingness to figure things out for yourself. But that's the conundrum in all this, is that so many people, we were just got done talking about it, so many people don't have that ability.
They don't.
They don't they don't have the knack. So how far do you go? And then when I was talking about ping pong, I sort of had an epiphany myself, because I'm pretty forceful with well, forceful is a strong word, but I'm pretty straightforward with the people that I come into contact with on a daily basis and people that I see, on a routine basis, because bro, if I've been friends with you for 5, 10, 15 years, or if I've been married to you for X amount of time and we share this amount of space, then I can't be cookie cutter and
Exactly.
dumbed down and diluted for so long. So it's weird. It's a balancing act. I guess what I gotta realize is that when I go out in the general public, it's kind of like playing ping pong. I should see how the other player plays, and if I'm confident in my skills at ping pong, which I am, I'm pretty good.
Right.
But if I'm confident enough in my skills as like an intellectual, I should let them show me their style of play, as if they have something to, not something to prove to me, but as if they have something that they want to teach me. And
Right.
I can quietly sit back and absorb and be like, oh, okay, I see where I can have a conversation with myself while having a conversation with somebody else. I'm sure you can too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's like instant processing, instant sort of filtering of information. It's harder to do with some people over others, because, like me, I talk really fast sometimes, so it can be tough. But I should just step back, and I haven't done that for so long, and just be a better listener. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it right now. I'm just talking.
This is cool. I understand what you're saying because
But with you, it's different. It's different, man. We had a feeling out process for like 2 or 3 conversations where we talked for 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like I can kind of be transparent and pretty open with you about anything conversationally, and it's not going to be off limits. But with people around, like people you don't know and you don't speak with frequently, you do kind of have to get a gauge for them.
oh yeah. Yeah, there's always internal dialogue within yourself because if I was to tell you right now, we're just having a conversation, and I'm like, man, I love that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the '50s, without even
He wasn't. Yeah.
without even you replying inside of your head, you're like, Arnold Schwarzenegger probably wasn't even born in the '50s. That's fucking
No
impossible,
movies in the 50s, dummy.
right?
Now, with that, see, old me would make fun of you for even saying that, but the new me would want to find a way of like,
How did you
hey,
come
this is
here?
recording.
My
Yeah.
my thing is, when people say something crazy, I have this internal dialogue within myself, and then to ask more questions just to see where this person. How did you even get here? Like, not how you got here on Earth, but like, how did you come to this conclusion? You know?
Conclusion, yeah.
Yeah, and it helps out a lot, you know, to figure out someone or even figure out someone's motive.
Yeah. So you're familiar with the law of polarity
Yeah, of course.
a little bit? Okay, the Hermetic principle and all that. So I've kind of maintained it for some time, and I've been quietly just observing the world around me and the bigger picture and the small picture too. And it checks out across the board, but there's there's different there's different sub layers within that law specifically. So what you just said is an interesting one. If I walk around town with the confidence that like I'm the smartest person in the room, or the awareness that I may be of a higher level of consciousness than like a group of 10 people that I'm meeting for a party at a friend's house or something like that. Like these are unconscious thoughts that I'm not always in control of having. Maybe it's my ego talking, or maybe it's experience, or maybe it's just the reality that is trying to educate me that this is your place, this is your position within this group. Sometimes I've walked into a room and I've known I'm not the smartest person when it comes to talking about math or science.
Right, 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 right.
Other people will talk and I'll be like, shit, you got me on that one.
Humbling yourself is key, though. You have to be humble.
Exactly, for sure. So the law of polarity is interesting because what if you are on one end of the spectrum, so that in those situations where a specific topic is addressed or a conversation on something important is presented, you present one extreme, which is like, let's just say, full or as close to fully understanding something as you possibly can. You present it, and you're responsible for like the truth. Let's just say that. And then maybe that's why you hear people say shit that is like, I guess an easier way of putting this is, what if you and I are in the middle ground right now? When we have a conversation, for the most part, we see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, whether we say it the same or whether we think it or process it the same. There's like this nebulous sort of middle ground that we can encapsulate in the way that we speak and in the thoughts that we have. But with other people, that's not so true. Um, and so if you let other people talk and you can just verifiably confirm objectively that they're inaccurate on something, does that not confirm that you are correct based on the law of polarity?
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, if you walk into a room and somebody, just a rough draft example, says like, "Hey, did you know 2 plus 3 is 6?" and you entertain it, then
I would. I would.
how did you come to that conclusion?
That's the fun part for me.
How did you come to that conclusion? And you see, this is where it gets interesting, though, bro, is because you and I have the ability, if we establish this as a fact, as like a conscious fact that polarity works this way, then that means you and I have the ability to tackle much more difficult questions that remain unanswered via our conversations. So this is where it gets
Oh yeah, it squeezes itself out over time. I came across this exact same situation about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They had a video and it said and it's dealing with my side, you know. It said that Agent Smith was not the villain, and I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? And then I'm like, nah, Agent Smith was the guy going against Neo, which was the protagonist, the hero of the fucking movie. But then they broke it down to me. I mean, it's still I'm still digesting it, you know. I can't give you a definitive answer on if he is or not. But they were like, and what was because like if you're familiar with the Matrix, you know, once a program is no longer needed, it's destroyed. You know, you're running up too much computation. You know, all Agent Smith was doing was trying to get rid of Neo so he can escape the Matrix, just like Neo was trying to get the people to escape the Matrix. And then, right, and then during the second and third movie, when they were trying to destroy the Matrix, actually Agent Smith was doing the same thing by copying, replicating himself to destroy the Matrix. So in reality, they both of their objectives was in line with each other. Yeah. But people see one as the enemy and one as not, you know. But in reality, to me, I'm leaning more towards Agent Smith wasn't even a villain. Right. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. And that's only because you've seen Neo's journey. If you would have seen Agent Smith's journey for him to escape, then he would have been the protagonist if you flip the script. Okay. Exactly. Yeah, it is 100%. No, no. But I'm perfectly familiar with this. I just like the way that Europe does it versus the way that America does it. And in Europe, if an AI or a computer program creates its own program, if it cannot explain to the human how it's done it, then it will shut it down. America, we don't give a fuck. We want to see how far it can go, but eventually there will be a language we will never be able to understand.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's what I think. Like Smith is he's like a baseline algorithm that, again, we have to see the prequel. Even though you probably know, like who created Agent Smith?
Oh, the architect in order to keep
Oh, the architect.
everyone
Okay,
in line.
okay,
Um,
okay.
yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, so the architect codes Smith, but then Smith develops his own agendas, his own algorithms,
Oh, yeah.
and through those agendas and through those algorithms, he meets his polar opposite, who's got very similar agendas and prerogatives, but like they have this conflict that probably didn't need to be there at all.
Yeah, they could have worked together, honestly. And at the end, if you watch it at the end, actually they do work together because he has to infect Neo in order for it to go inside of the Machine City to be destroyed. So eventually, they had without each other, they could have never stopped the destroying of Zion. And it's crazy about it, he did become slightly self conscious within the first film when he was interrogating Morpheus, and he was like, "I hate it here. I hate the smell of it here." And when he was calling humans viruses, you know. But once Neo integrated part of himself, part of his program within him, he became totally free. That's when he totally took off the ear clip. I mean, or another thing that follows what you said, because like we were saying, like if we would have seen the prequel to Agent Smith, we would have felt more compassion about what he was trying to do, you know, but we didn't. The movie that touches that deeply is Avengers with Thanos, because we seen his prequel, we seen he was actually trying to be good, even though that people see that he had passion to do this, people still called him the villain.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I love Thanos.
You know,
I always think Thanos is the protagonist. Whatever. I got mad when they killed him.
oh yeah, that's conditioning too. That people were like, "Oh, Thanos is the bad guy," because this guy who shoots arrows is a good guy. This guy with an American shield is a good guy.
Cause you all like the polarity. You all when you watch something, there's always a bad guy and a good guy, especially with hero movies, you know.
Right.
But but
That's why those recent shows where like The Boys or Watchmen, they've been very interesting because they're trying to flip the superhero thing on its head, but that's all shit that we know already. It's like I get why they're trying to do it, but it doesn't shake people out of their complacency when it comes to intaking media and having like these very blurred lines when it comes to what good and bad is on the big screen at least, or when you're reading a book. So
but
it's interesting, man, because
that
just talking about this and the way that Neo like infiltrated Smith's programming himself and like gave him a little bit of his own programming, and that's what woke Smith up. That's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. That's how you microdose people. That's
yeah
how
yeah
you
yeah
change
yeah.
people in the long run. Is you got to figure out a way to, if you're confident in where you stand and like you've self-reflected and you have a decent understanding of yourself, and you may have only scratched the surface, but that's because you're a much deeper individual with many more layers than say a common layman who doesn't have a lot of self-introspection to begin with.
Right. They're diving into a pond and I'm diving into the ocean. There's a big difference.
Exactly. So what you have to do is get them to put their foot into the pond.
Yeah yeah. And that's the
Yeah,
scariest part.
dip their toes. Yeah.
Just I mean, let's take courage. And the thing about it is, why people need to have a hero and a villain is because they're too scared to dive deep within themselves to know that you do not have to have a hero and a villain. You could just
That they're both.
right.
That they're both, and that every single day, your mind and your heart, for that matter, are sort of playing a tug of war. That if you have the conditioning and the programming to think heroes versus villains, then you're going to be presented with nothing but situations
The Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media platform you want to use is a fucking simulation. It is the Matrix. You're only seeing what you want to be seen. You do not want to believe.
I agree.
Man, like somebody said, bro, people live on social media are snapshots of their perfect selves. They're not gonna post when they fucking took a shit in their fucking pants when they're trying to run to the bathroom. No, they're gonna post when they was in fucking Maui or some shit like that. It's the Matrix. it's
It is.
it's a simulation. It's not real life. Like I know people huh?
How did Neo bring the Matrix down? He couldn't do it from the Nebuchadnezzar.
No, hell no. He had to be within. He had to be within the program to change it.
He had to. He had to. Okay, so here's some sci-fi shit for you. What if the Matrix? What if the whole concept of the Matrix is reflecting on something that has already occurred for reality?
Wait. Dive deep into that.
Okay. So the way that Neo infiltrated the Matrix and brought the Matrix to a collapse, essentially, by the end of Revolutions, and just the whole procedure and all that, and all three movies and the main plot line itself. What if that is not necessarily trying to teach people, maybe teach the individuals who think very deeply how to do it within themselves, fine. But
Oh, I believe it plants a seed for sure.
yes, for sure. The internal world is unexplored, in my opinion, and it's the truly the next pioneering place. But when you look around at reality right now, the outside world, what I see is like I see a collapsing matrix. I don't see a matrix that is like fully functioning in the 80s and 90s where our parents were just suckers for all the stuff that was thrown in their faces left and right. And even if they were having a conversation, they would never have a conversation like this because they didn't
No.
have the full range of the experience yet. They hadn't experienced the Matrix yet. They were just coming off of World War II. They were coming off of a little bit harder times in previous generations. And then all of a sudden, the world around them must have felt like a simulation because things were going perfectly.
Right.
The American dream, the picket fence, jobs, kids, everybody was happy for the most part. And now, like, we should be happy with that, but we're rejecting it in many ways because we see that it's not the path to true, like, fulfillment
Well,
for
the,
anyone.
the thing about it is, which is I don't know how deep you dive into the Matrix when it goes to the Animatrix. Well, they also talked about it a little bit in Reloaded when he said the first Matrix that they built was the perfect Matrix for humans. Everything just went right, and when everything was going perfectly right, the humans rejected it and they lost a whole pod of humans because they couldn't. The humans just knew, like if I say, "Land, I want $1 million," the next thing you know, tomorrow I win the lottery, $1 million. Everything I say goes. Eventually, I'm going to reject it. Like this is not reality, and that's exactly what happened within the Matrix. The thing about life is, what I see some people fail to realize. When things are going too perfect, people question things. When people are going through chaos, they don't question things. And this is why I think a bullshit war, bullshit things happen every so many months, so people cannot dive within and start to question things. That's just my thoughts.
I 100% agree.
You do not want an awakened society.
Doesn't that make coronavirus more interesting?
Oh yeah, you had no time to focus. You try not to die. You don't have any time to fucking self-reflect.
It's been the opposite, I would think, because people have been locked down for a whole year of their life, and all these major life changes, they've had to confront them. Like, bro, I got divorced during COVID, and I feel as if I wouldn't have had it not been for COVID because the time that my ex-wife and I spent with one another went from like an hour or two a day, which
Right.
would be tolerable, to a full lifespan. I feel like we live 30 years hours-wise,
In one year.
with one another within the span of a year. Absolutely. So we were having
What?
conversations in like the third week of COVID lockdown that technically we shouldn't have had until like a year or two later, based on the frequency of us crossing paths.
Right.
It changed it. It changed everything.
You're in the Dragon Ball Z hyperbolic chamber. Everything was intensified by 1,000. Yeah, I get it. No, but what I was saying was, because 2019 to me, I don't know for I mean, of course I keep up with news and everything, but it was a pretty smooth year. I feel that people were starting to self-reflect that year, and then coronavirus came to change everything. But the flaw was that they didn't think about that the time off. People have more time to self-reflect, and that's when people are like, well, I can work from home. I can, people became more conscious, but it was actually, I feel like it was a flaw in that system. They thought that we were going to be worried about coronavirus the whole time to not self-reflect, but it turned it on its head, and we all self-reflected.
Right. Which leads me to almost confirm, based on that coronavirus is natural. Like the way COVID emerged and the way that it took place, and the way that it spread was natural. It wasn't necessarily man-made or guided by man to like affect the population, because I only think something natural can do that. I don't think a matrix program, so to speak, could have a bug like that.
I mean, if you believe in,
Fired on the architect, so to speak.
yeah, if you believe in the theory that everything is conscious, if the earth is conscious, it can do it too within itself to make the people within itself, which is probably its own brain. Like all our brain is an interconnected brain for the for the earth. If you want to go to sci-fi shit, that it can actually stop and think amongst itself. Because the thing about it was, coronavirus is going taking its course naturally. When I said that when people start to have too much peace, they start to self-reflect, and you need chaos in order for them not to self-reflect. What did the humans do? The government do every single new week? Oh, there's a new strand. They want us to worry about it, but eventually people stop giving a fuck about the strands.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep the chaos going by introducing new strands, but it really wasn't working anymore. People were so unaffected by it when they were talking about the UFO sightings back in the 80s. Dude would have been drawing the fucking NBC. Now they're like, well, just show yourself. If you don't show yourself, I'm just keep going upon my life.
Right? That's fascinating. So, the Matrix is collapsing.
Yeah, I mean, they need to start a new, because there's of course, there's 6 matrices, Neo was a 6, whatever like that.
But what if that's what Resurrections is gonna talk about? Like, what if it's the final collapse of like all the Matrixes?
That'll be dope.
That would be dope.
I mean, there is a huge change because Sati, the little Indian girl that the Oracle was protecting, whatever like that, she was the first person. Because if you watch the Matrix, you have to notice there is no sun, there is no grass, there's no rainbows. At the end of Revolution, she's the one that created the rainbow. She's the one that created actual grass or sunlight. So there's going to be a huge shift in the Matrix for 4. Yeah, she's the new Oracle, in my opinion.
Oh, I think so. Well, I've had this contemplation many times before about generations and the way that it works. I feel as if like the magic number is 3, because you got your grandparents, your parents, and yourself, right? Those are the family members that you get to experience as a child, you get to experience as an adult.
That's dope.
And then you get to experience interchangeably as well. Like, you'll have grandchildren like you had a grandparent. You'll have kids like you had your parent. So you get to experience both sides of that polarity.
You keep breaking off and making your own 3. And then seeing another 3 grow.
Yes, and when things really start to change, when the world can actually change around you, is when you sit back and you really deep dive and you contemplate the things that your parents tried to do but couldn't get all the way done because of circumstances, the things that your and this is the scary part for a lot of people, but they don't even get close to this yet. Some people do, and I'm happy for it, and they should keep going. But they get to the point where they're like, well, what's my conditioning? What am I being conditioned to right now?
Right.
That is still something. What's something that my kids are going to look at me at in 30 years and say, I can't believe you let this happen? Because I do that all the
That's
time.
deep. That's deep.
I do that all the time with my grandparents. I'm like, how could you guys go to Catholic church week in, week out and listen to a pedophile
Right.
talk to you about God? Like,
Right.
how did you allow this to happen? How were you not interested in knowing the background of somebody who was trying to inform you about how to go home and live your life on a daily basis, and you weren't interested in knowing the ins and outs of that person's life outside of being a spokesperson to you? So there's a million other things.
I feel that they can get not some people can't get a slide because some people, I mean, there's millions of stories of a lady who had like a young daughter and she couldn't afford to eat or whatever like that, and she allowed like the new boyfriend to rape the daughter. That's just too direct for me. But if you have a situation to where let's say like the priest, your ignorance kind of give them a way out, because let's say like if someone was enjoying cigarettes, like a parent in like the 50s or 60s, whatever like that, and then they were like, well, my son's 10 years old, 11 years old, he should see how good this feels. They had no clue of the fact that this could cause cancer and kill them later on. It takes a lot for that child, huh?
They didn't have the whole spectrum of experience yet because they were introduced to it.
Right, but the thing about it is, with a child, if that child is not able to dive deeper into his thought process of why his parents let it happen, it's going to bring rage upon his parents. Because he's going to think that they should have known this. But if he goes into himself and look at himself within 30 years, and you're probably doing something right now that's negative towards your daughter, but you're just totally ignorant towards it, But you're trying to do your best at...
Be on a larger social scale. The way we talk about social media and the internet, for example, clearly
oh God,
it's going to be one
yes.
of the things in like 20 or 30 years where people have disorders, they have mental handicaps, they might be dying because of their 8 hours a day they spent on the internet in the 2010s and 2020s.
Media information overdose. And the crazy thing about it is 30 or 40 years from now, they're going to be looking at us like, how you didn't see this? But we were in the...
we do see it.
You're talking about you and I. You're not talking about we as a society. There are some people who do not see anything wrong with...
But then who has...
You're giving humanity too much props right now.
Okay, but who has the right of way then to put their foot down? Is it society who enjoys ignorance, or is it the people that can spot the problems before they bloom into these disasters that cause severe impacts on future generations? So, like, if I could present my daughter, if my daughter is back to freedom again, my daughter's 5 years old. If she can live in a world where she is free of even the need to have these conversations about previous generations fucking shit up and about messing it up, because when you have those kinds of talks with people, the first thing that they'll say is, every generation works like this. Oh, that's what everybody says, is that every younger generation blames the older generation. Okay, what if we transition away from that? What if generation we try to be exemplary of a world that we want our kids to be raised in, and we actually achieve it? Then it falls back to like the right of way. Like, who has the authority there? Is it the old establishment that is dying? We've admitted that the matrix is collapsing, but there's slow death because of things like capitalism, the economies around the world, all of these simulations that they've put into place
Exactly. Money is a simulation within itself.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, but it's easy to be the bad guy here. It's easy to
Well,
play anarchist.
the
You
thing
know what I'm
about
saying?
it
Well,
is,
you're just gonna collapse.
I know it will, but you and I have these thoughts. There's probably a few other thousand people that have these thoughts. But the thing about society is that the ball has already rolled. It's like throwing a bowling ball at 100 miles per hour, and you can run 20 miles per hour. And you're trying to run and stop it in front of it. It's taken off already. And the thing about it is,
Yeah,
people who are quote unquote woke, whatever like that, are considered conspiracy
yeah,
theories or lepers. You know, they're out of. It's like how to you can tell people, hey, tomorrow, let's everybody not sign on to Facebook for 1 hour. I promise you, at least 1 million to 2 million people will sign on.
oh yeah, absolutely.
It fucks with them because it just became the norm. It's like drinking water to log on to see what someone else is doing.
Yeah,
It
or eating food with sugar, with refined sugar or fast food. I mean, there's so many of these things that
look at the cigarette boxes. They're showing parts of the body that's damaged as fuck. People talking through the fucking thing in their throat on the fucking boxes. People still like give me
yeah,
2 packs.
yeah.
So
What happens if you take? But what happens if you? What's the route to removing cigarettes from being sold in anywhere?
that's the other simulation of money, which is never can be done, just like with oil. I mean, everybody, our society as a whole should be working on going at least towards the second quarter chef scale. But
Yeah,
we want to rely on fucking oil, so because oil makes the money, which is the money is a simulation. Then you have another simulation, which is the government. If you just listen to people on like Fox News or any news outlet, I'm not gonna fucking direct one. You'd be like, these people are total fucking idiots. They're getting paid to voice their
they really
opinion
are,
on something that their network is forcing them to be biased on.
and they're dumb.
And they're dumb, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people relate. People connect with the more people watching, the smarter they are. Because if I wasn't this smart, then they would be watching someone else. And that's a dangerous drug within itself.
But isn't this what courage is all about too? At the same time, like I have the confidence that 1 versus 1 million is possible when it comes to this sort of thing because these are mental games. This isn't me standing in the street asking a million ignorant people to fight me because I know that they would physically swarm me.
Right,
Like
right.
that scene where Neo's fighting Smith and all that.
Oh, he keep replicating himself in the
Yeah,
park.
it's in the Matrix. Let's not forget, outside of the Matrix, Neo got fucked up by Smith when he took over that dude's
Oh
body.
yeah, Bane.
And exactly.
Easily.
So it's not easily too. So there is a level of like susceptibility when it comes to when you're out of the Matrix, when you're in
Yeah.
reality. But that's the point is that
The
we're not in reality. Like the world around us right now is a simulation. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
mental games
yeah.
and the stopping of bullets, figuratively speaking, and all of the stuff that Neo does in the Matrix. You can do it mentally in a simulated world. You can do it. Like so.
Like
So
like I
that's what
said,
makes it.
Facebook.
You
Right.
can bring down oil. You can bring down the oil industry. It's a simulation. So it's very. Mr. Robot does this very well in his program, in his show. I need to watch that again.
I never even started. I always was interested inside of it. Never started.
Might be worth it.
But what you're saying earlier, what Neo can do within the Matrix, if you really think about it, Neo inside the Matrix is his Facebook pics. Because he can do all he only posts amazing shit, you know what I'm saying? But on the outside world, him posting that picture is him getting his ass whooped by Bane, getting fucking electric inside of his fucking eyes and fucking taken out, you know?
That's
It's
true.
it's all Facebook is a fucking simulation. I mean, I'm fucking part of that simulation because dude, like I only posted like the best parts of my trip, you know? If you go look at
That's true.
Bruh, if you go look at my pictures,
Hey, I just promote my creative endeavors. That's all I do.
right?
I don't want to chat with people. I don't want to status updates. I don't want to take many pictures. I hate being tagged in pictures. I just want to promote to people. That's pretty much it.
Right, but I mean, it's still part of that simulation, you know, that whatever like that. Because if you go look at my picture when I was taking pictures in Amsterdam, dude, right before I took that picture, we was in a huge ass fucking argument. I was pissed off and damn near threw on my phone and be like, take me a picture in front of this thing. But if you look at the picture, you're like, man, look how happy they are in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but why didn't you add that as a comment? Most people who do that, they're like, hey, 5 minutes before this, my wife. You gotta add some context. I gotta go pick my daughter up at school, man. This was a fantastic.
All right, great combo.
Hey, great 15-minute conversation. It'd be like that all the time, man. But time ain't real. It's just,
It's not simulation as well.
it is what it is. All right, man. Until next time.
All right.